What are you saying, people? Civic Repairs here. As you can tell, just woken up. Anyway, that's besides the point. Part 2 today on the Mustang repair. What we've got to do is, if you remember that white wing from the last video, today I've got to sand it all down to get it ready to be resprayed tonight. And first I've got to get taught how to do that, but once I do, I'll show you some clips and I'll get back to you, so see you later. Right, people, so I've been tasked with wiping down the wing first, wiping it down clean from all this right in here, as you can see. Also, if you haven't noticed, I am on my own today, so I'm going to try and get the best shots I possibly can. So yeah, and I also don't have my trusty assistant with me either, so it might take a bit longer than usual. But yeah, so first job is wipe this wing down clean so it can be ready to be sanded. All right, people, I found a spot for the shot, so I'm just going to get on with it. And obviously I'm not going to show all of it, but you know, just the more or less part side of it. I've put the wing up as to try and not the bonnet as to not try and scratch the bonnet, obviously, because the bonnet's good, the wing isn't. So obviously when it comes to actually sanding it down, don't want to sand down the bonnet, as the bonnet is actually coincidentally perfectly the right colour for this car. So just going to get on with it, and I'll show you guys a close-up shot as well. So as you can see, I have got most of them writing and numbers off, even just there, you know, get that off. There's a bit of residue, which is fine, because we'll just get that off. Probably have to wet my cloth in a second, that's all right. But yeah, just all the dirt, grime, stuff like that, you want to definitely get rid of. Don't want any of that on there. Right, people, so I have just soaked my cloth in some more water. Never in a million years did I think I'd be mixing water with electricity, especially with such a high voltage device, I guess you could say. But yeah, now we're going to move on to this inside grime dirt. So this is the before, and then I'll show you the after. All right, people, so I've now wiped down all of the wing, even it comes down to bits like in here and stuff like that. Wiped it all down. So what we're going to do next is I think it's going to be get ready to sand it. Now obviously I need to get shown how to sand it, so I'm not going to show that, but once I get to doing that, I will show you that, guys, no problem. I think the front bit, so like all of this bit here, basically everything you can see here, we're going to sand it down while it's still on the car, only because I think it makes my life easier. I think it makes everyone's life easier in terms of whoever's working on it. Obviously we'll take it off and do that properly with it off the car. Not to say that with it on the car is not properly, it still is, but you know what I mean. I'm talking about in terms of like bits like that, you know, like not really be able to get to that too well, so probably have to wing off for that. Or like I said, even bits like this bit here, we're going to take the wing off for that. But this whole front bit here, we're going to sand down while it's still on the car. So I've got some 500 grit sandpaper here, and here we have the wing. So supervisor, I don't know if you can really catch it on camera, but he's just kind of done this top bit here just to demonstrate and show me what's up. So basically I haven't actually got to fully sand off the paint. I've just got to sand off the glossy bit, the shiny bit, because then we don't have to prime it and it only needs to be painted over then. So it just needs to be a rough surface for the paint to stick onto. Obviously we need to get into bits like here, all down there, and as I said here before. So I'm going to try and get some shots of that and get on with it. All right, people, so I've set my camera up the best I really could to show. Obviously I'll probably get some shots from over there, but just going to get on with it. All right, people, so I'm getting just like paint all over my hands, but that's all right, you know, that's just the graft. But you can't really see it on camera, but I just thought I'd get some close-up shots of me just rubbing it down. Right, people, so I thought I'd update you quickly on what is going on. He hasn't told me whether I've done a good job or not. He hasn't told me that I've done a bad job, so he just said make sure you get all the glossy shiny bits off. So I'm going to carry on doing that until I've got all of it off. Now this bumper is not a genuine Ford bumper. It's for the first time ever he's bought an aftermarket one, now just to see the quality of it and see what it's like, and he reckons it's pretty good. So I'm going to have to sand this down as well, but kind of to a point. He's done a little bit there, but kind of to a point where you leave the primer on but you still rough it up so the paint can stick. So yeah, that's the next job for me. Continuing on with this wing, yeah, just make sure it can't be shiny like this one. It's just got to be matte, almost like a matte finish, and rough so the paint can stick, obviously. Yeah, get the bolts off so then we can proper finish this bit up. Now, unfortunately, I have took a bit of the paint off, which he said not to do, but he said that's all right because it's only a tiny bit, and it's my first time, and there's a plastic trim that goes over that anyway. Okay people, so I have finished sanding that down. Obviously there'll be a tiny few more tweaks to it just before we paint it, but more or less that's all good. So now I'm going to get on with the bumper. So in terms of the bumper, these black plastic bits here, they need to be masked up with masking tape like this. So I'm going to mask it up so I don't accidentally scratch them and stuff like that. So I'll get to you when I've masked them. Alright people, it took me a bit longer than expected, but I have now finished masking up the bumper, so I'll just show you now. So as you can see, I have made sure that it's all kind of in between the bumper and this black plastic bit here, so when I'm sanding it down with the 500 grit it doesn't catch on the tape. So I've done that side, and I've also done this side. It definitely took me a bit longer than it should have, but you know, I've never done this before, so bear with me. Is get this 500 grit right here, just like that, fold it in half. As I said, supervisor's already done a bit of that side just to show me. Got to do it very lightly, and yeah, make sure I don't get the primer off, just to rough it up, as I said before, to be able to paint it. So I'll get back to you when that's finished. I've also just realised, people, that I should probably wipe it down with a cloth from all this dust and debris, just to make sure I'm not damaging the actual primer paintwork. Right then people, so got my cameraman Lewis here.
Yeah.
Substitute for Mason because he ain't here at the minute. So I just thought, guys, I'd show you just the up close shots of me doing it up, and that's about it. So I'll just get on with it. Yeah, just roughing it up, as I said before, just for the paint to stick. I'll take this bit of protective bit off just to get to that bit there.
Gee, you've done this before.
What we're saying, people, we're back. So bumper is sanded. That's in the house, ready to get taken to the garage to get painted. So that's all sorted. First thing is we've got to get the wing off, so we can also take that to the garage and also sand that down. But to do that, we've got to take the headlight off first. So we'll get back to you once that's done.
You can...
Free Mazda 3. I ain't doing it then. Sucks for you, Theo. But crazy shit. Right, people. So last bolt is now undone, I believe. It should just, and there we go. Shabing shabang, shaboom shaboom.
That's some Cole's work, Victor.
Oh mate, left fingerprints all over it now. We're gonna take this down to the garage. Sanded it down already, as I did earlier, and we're gonna paint it that colour there. No, once we get over to the, what's it called? The paint booth. We'll let you know. Right, people, so we're in the paint booth. Got a bit of blue roll here. First job is we've got to wipe down this bumper here. Got to wipe down this bumper, of course, and then it should be ready for the first coat of paint. Alright people, so we put the first coat on that, got to wait for it to dry though, and then there's going to be a couple more coats put on. It's going to take about an hour. The process is quite long, but you know, it'll all be worth it once it's done. And then once it's all finished and coated up, with a couple more coats of this paint here, then should be ready to put back on the car. Right people, so last coat of paint is getting put on now, and as soon as that's done, the lacquer's ready to go on. Now apparently, as the supervisor says, the lacquer is where the magic happens. I'm guessing that's how it makes it shiny, glossy, whatever. So the 5th coat of paint is getting put on now on the bumper. Then I'm going to put the lacquer on. Not too sure about the wing yet, but we'll find out. And that's about it, people. So the big guns are out now. This is the little guns, but the big guns are out. Follow through to me here. As you can see, the big guns are out. So now the lacquer's done. Right then people, so after you have used the spray gun, you definitely want to make sure you clean it off for the next time, because, well, you wouldn't want another paint mixing with another paint, because, well, that just wouldn't be good. So you clean this off with some chemicals and whatnot and some blue roll. Pretty easy stuff. As you can see, it just squirts out a bit like that. Anyway, besides the point, lacquer's going on the wing now, and then it should be really ready. Just got to wait for it to dry, and there probably is going to be a part 3 of me putting all the stuff back on with the freshly painted fucking wing and bonnet, not bonnet, bumper. Probably catch you in the next one now. See you later.